Hello, everyone. My colleague Natalia and I, Julian, we are working on improving the developer experience for AEM Cloud Service. And Natalia will now start to give a quick overview of what an RDE is, and then we'll see.
OK, so my name is Natalia, as Julian said. I'm working as a software developer engineer at Adobe, and I've been working here mostly around 4 years already. This is my first adaptTo, but OK, I'm not nervous. So first of all, to start, I want to ask you a question. How many of you have already used RDE environments? Please raise your hand. Wow, we have a good audience today, yeah. Don't we?
Not bad.
Awesome. Then we are on a good track for my first adaptTo. OK, good. Then, what are RDE environments? Well, this is a new type of environment for the people that didn't use it. Let's do a quick overview over it before going deeper into the talk. So why? And why do we want this environment? Well, mainly because, as you have my experience already, development pipelines are taking a long time, right? And they are not used to focus on the development, because you need to wait for a long time. For that reason, we decided to go and to improve the experience of developing into the cloud. Why? Because we created this new type of environment, which is a hot deployment. You can do a fast feedback. There is no pipeline. So then you directly deploy your code into the environment. What time? Well, minutes or even seconds, which is impressive. So you can quickly run your experiments into the AEM as a cloud service, and also you can quickly analyze your issues into the cloud directly. Not only that, because it was thought to be, to push your code directly from your local instance into the cloud, but you can even, run CI/CD pipelines in order to improve your experience and to run your testing to run the testing that you are, pushing your code to Git and then run your tests automatically in now a ready provision environment to the cloud. Here in the cloud, we have these instances have add-ons available. They have, cloud integrated services available. So we have all the services available that you already have for dev, stage, and prod. OK, we needed to compromise something. It is not highly available. So we want to highlight that. So then, let's do a quick overview as well into how this works. Because I mentioned there is no pipeline. So then how do you deploy something here? In order to deploy a package or a code or a bundle, a configuration of OSGI, then you just need to use the AIO tooling, the RDE plugin. Then first thing it does, it uploads the file into the cloud. And then it goes to our server in step 2, and we run the analyzers, so you can quickly check your issues with the analyzer. Not only that, we also push the package to AEM. As I mentioned before, there is no high availability. That means if you are pushing something that makes AEM to be restarted, OK, you'll see a little outage. It should be gone in a few seconds. But then, the code is pushed into the single author or publish pod, and they are using the segment store as it was in the local SDK. We are simulating kind of a local SDK environment into the cloud. The only difference is that, the main difference is that you can see is that there is no Mongo, as there are in dev, stage, and prod, and there is no high availability. But the rest will be the same. You have all the utilities in Cloud Manager as well.
Thank you, Natalia. So we've got a quick agenda. So I'll talk about the first 3 bullet points. The first is AIO CLI improvements we have made over the last year. We have the ad hoc logging, which is a feature that I think is quite exciting. And I'll give an outlook on the next RDE features we are currently working on. They're not ready for experimentation yet, but I hope we'll get there sooner rather than later. And then Natalia will take over again and give an overview of the equivalent of the front-end pipeline that we have in RDE, as well as the equivalent of the configuration pipeline. And she'll give a quick glimpse into the new Developer Console UI that has also been where we have started rolling out changes. That's not strictly an RDE topic, but I think it fits in here nonetheless. And then at the end, we have some time for questions and answers. So the AIO CLI has introduced a new command, which is the setup command. Those of you who have used RDEs before, they knew they had to configure like a Cloud Manager Program ID and an organization ID and an environment ID. This setup command makes this whole experience much easier because it provides a wizard. You run the setup command. It extracts the organization from your login token, and then it lists all the programs that are in that organization. And you can, as it says on the line, type to filter, or you can scroll with the arrow keys to select the program you want. And then once you're in the program, you can do the same for the environment. So I guess most of you will have relatively few programs, but it's still a good way to quickly select your RDE and set up all that configuration. And in the last week, we have managed to get out this change, which is support for IMS login contexts. There's a concept where you can have different contexts in your configurations, and in theory, you can switch between those contexts. And we have now implemented support for that in the RDE plugin for AIO CLI, and we have also fixed something in the login flow where the tokens weren't stored in the right location. This should allow you, by the second line where you set your default context, and that is set in a local configuration, that should allow you to stay logged in different RDE environments by having different local configurations in different folders on your local machine. And if you want to test this, you need to update your setup to meet the requirements on the bottom. Then we have the RDE logging, which we were trying to address the problem that in order to get the log messages out of AEM that you need in order to analyze the issues that you're trying to analyze, where you often need to refine your log levels and the packages that you're interested in. But that requires traditionally the deployment of an OSGI configuration, which on non-RDE system needs to go through a pipeline, but on an RDE you'd still need to edit the configuration file and deploy it, and so on and so forth. And we have a solution to this problem, which comes as the logs command of the AIO CLI RDE plugin. And with the logs command, you can ad hoc attach loggers on your AEM instance. So you can say, I want debug level logs for Adobe and Org Apache, for example. And you can do that in two different ways. You can either repeat the flags, or you can space separate them behind one flag. You can also, of course, combine the setup for different log levels. And we support the debug, info, warn, and error levels. I've got a brief demo for this, which comes along as a video, so bear with me while I type. This is just so you get an impression of what that looks like. And then you can edit your command line with different package names and run again, and then you get the logs that you have requested. Now, for me, the exciting part is what we're currently actively developing. There is, first of all, RDE Snapshots. That's the idea that you can take an RDE, set it up with your test content, with what you need, possibly with a basic deployment. That's up to you. And then you take a snapshot. And in that snapshot, we store the state of that RDE at that moment in time. And then you can continue working on your RDE, and at any point you can reset your RDE back to that snapshot. So that you always have a clean baseline, or you don't need to repeat your content setup, etc. And you can repeat this applying of the snapshot as often as you like. And of course, we encourage you to delete old snapshots that you no longer need. We think the AIO CLI commands will look like the ones on the bottom, but as the disclaimer says, details of this may still change. Also, and that was requested by customers as well, we are working to support automatic updates of RDEs, like the other cloud environments are updated when a new release becomes available. We want to do the same with RDEs, which is a slightly different kind of problem than in the highly available instances. We're working on that, and we're also working on the ability to reset your application deployment only and keep the content that's in the repository as is.
Thank you, Julian.
And with this, I hand over back to Natalia.
I, speak up very quickly. I'm back again. Okay, so as I mentioned, remember, there are no pipelines, but we use the word pipeline because it's what we reproduce and we copy it from dev stage and prod. That feature, front-end pipeline support for RDEs. So now we implemented this feature. It's already available for you, and it's already fully tested. So it should work perfectly. What you can do with this? So you can upload your front-end packages. How? Well, actually, all you need to do is locally, you just run npm run build. Then it produces a couple of artifacts, the package.json, and also the dist folder. And then on that directory, all you need to do is to run the AIO AEM RDE install with the type frontend, although we try to guess it automatically, but if you specify it, it's OK. And point to the folder where your files are, the dist folder and the package.json. Then this file is, again, remember, upload to the cloud. And then, well, they are zipped locally, upload to the cloud, and then they are deployed to AEM. It returns a hash that then, if you go to the browser, you are using the front-end pipeline support, then you inspect the tools, then you can see that hash being used by the requests, because it's the package that you deploy. I see someone saying yes, so it's good. What else? Not only front-end. We also have the configuration pipeline support. This is coming now, generally available at the end of October of this year, 2024. So just a quick overview of how this will look like. Via the configuration pipeline, you can, configure a lot of things, and more are coming to the environments. So you will be able to do the same as you do for dev stage and prod, but also for RDE via your AIO CLI. You can, for instance, in this example, configure the CDN to blocks on paths. That is a YAML that you can also deploy to other environments via the pipeline. So on RDE, basically, you just run the AIO AEM RDE install command again, in this case with the type config. And then you point to the folder where the config files are. Super simple. OK. New AEM Developer Console UI. Boom. OK. I know. This is not only for rapid development environments, but we wanted to show you here, because actually, if you are using rapid development environments, it means that you are quickly iterating over the changes on the cloud. And then this is a handy tool, to inspect what do you have installed, actually. This is an early access feature. If you want to access it, please let us know. Just write an email, and then we will grant you access. And it's a really good, awesome feature. You'll see. Because I have here a quick video/demo already prepared. Let's go quickly over it. You can see the new interfaces. So you can search on the OSGI bundles. You can click on imported packages. And be surprised, you can navigate. OK, this is something totally new, and we have improved the whole Dev Console UI. Here you can just navigate through the bundles, search on the configurations. For instance, this configuration that I deploy via my RDE environment, and then you can see there the properties that are changed on the OSGI configuration. So it might remind you to the system console for the Felix, right? OK, it has some inspiration there. And again, if you want to get access, just let us know. And then you should be able to see a button there on the old Dev Console UI. And then it will go to the new Dev Console. If you have any questions, we also have the expert of the UI here that built it on the first row. And for the end, I mean, before going to the Q&A, I want to let you know a couple of things. First thing is, you can find us on Discord. So if you have any questions or any feedback for rapid development environments that you want, hey, I really need this feature, or this would be super handy to have it, just let us know, please. If you don't, then just join the Discord channel and let us know, hey, I really loved your talk, and then we'll be happy. Second thing is that in order to answer the question for the first talk that we have here at AdaptTo, yes, RDE environments works for edge delivery services. It also works for Crosswalk. It also works for Universal Editor. We checked everything. You can use it. It's like the same as any other environment, dev, stage, and prod, but quickly. OK, so thank you.
You just mentioned it works for everything you said. So is it possible to attach a remote debugger to RDE, like IntelliJ IDEA?
I would recommend you wait for the next talk and see what happens.
That's an excellent answer and super trailer for the next talk, yeah. Have you seen anyone who replaced local instances with RDE completely? Are there any learnings?
Well, not local instances per se, but dev environments. I mean, we have a customer, which is a real inspiration for using RDE environments. They're using a lot. I mean, they have thousands of deployments. And what they have done is actually to move away from dev pipelines and using RDE environments so that they use this CI/CD experience. They have built their own pipelines, and therefore they push their Git code changes whenever they open a pull request. They test the changes, and then it's completely, they run all the test suite on the cloud. That also leads toward to the option of, not using as much as local SDK, because actually they are already testing a lot in the cloud. So in that sense, it is true. They are also not using as much local SDK anymore.
Is it an easy way to copy all the configurations and the content from cloud production environments to RDE environments?
That we don't have yet, no.
OK, so feature request. Excellent.
We take note.
Question about performance, creating and restoring snapshots. How fast is it? Seconds? Minutes?
We can't say definitely yet. My best guess at the moment is that it's round about a similar time as a reset is currently, which I believe is between 5 and 10 minutes typically. We may get around to doing some optimizations on that later on to speed that up a little more.
Thank you. Big applause for Natalia and Julian.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.